This exhibition is our special spring exhibition, and title is Life of Cats, Selections from Hiraki Ukiyo-e Collection, on view at Japan Society Gallery from March 13th until June 7th this year. It features over 130 works of arts focusing on motif of cats. And we were able to work with this private foundation in Tokyo called Hiraki Ukiyo-e Foundation, which is really well known in Japan as one of the only foundations to have a collection focusing on Japanese prints, mostly woodblock prints. And they have over 6,000 works. The exhibition is featuring 90 ukiyo-e woodblock prints from this particular collection from Japan. So we're very happy to feature prints that have everything about cats. Cats were not native to Japan. They came from China along with Buddhism back in mid-6th century. So basically Buddhist scriptures were carried on ship from Asia to Japan back then, and because scriptures were all written on paper, there was a danger of having like rodents and mice damaging those holy scriptures. So traders and Buddhist monks figured that okay, let's have cats on board so that they can protect those holy scriptures. So once cats got to Japan, they were considered to be the protector of these important writings related to Buddhism. So I think from the beginning, Japanese had kind of developed this respect for this creature. So it became a kind of guardian of Buddhist religion. So that's how Japanese started to have this respectful relationship with cats. If you go to Tokyo today, the funny phenomenon now is that you find certain animal cafes everywhere. It's a really dense city, and oftentimes people live in small apartment rooms, and apartment buildings, generally they don't really allow pets to be kept in the building. So animal lovers, they might have grown up with animals around and suburban houses, but once they move to Tokyo, they're not allowed to have pets in many occasions. So they go to cafes where they not only serve teas and sweets, but also have animals that you can play with as temporary pets of your own. This exhibition is special because Hiraki Foundation created their own version of cat-focused print show back in 2006, and it was traveling across Japan, and it was massively popular. So we thought that, well, we have cat lovers in New York too. Why not create a New York version of it and show to the American audience how Japanese people loved cats since centuries and centuries ago. One of the most important works in this Life of Cats exhibition is a print by Ando Hiroshige from one of his very best series of prints called 100 Famous Views of Edo. Within this series, he depicted a festival scene in central Tokyo back then, in 19th century, when he was making this design. It's a view of a tea house in Yoshiwara pleasure quarter, and it's a view within the interior but looking out into the great landscape, and on the window ledge you find white cat sitting and looking out into the landscape with Mount Fuji in the background. It's a very iconic image, and it's a great quality print, and I think that is one of my favorite prints in this show. Utagawa ukiyo-e prints by Utagawa Kuniyoshi are some of my favorites in this show. Kuniyoshi was actually known as the big cat lover amongst his many disciples, and there are many journals left by his students who would depict Kuniyoshi as he sits in his studio surrounded by many cats. and he's still, making drawings and creating the design for prints. So one of the beautiful prints by Kuniyoshi that we have is a triptych, and it's based on the Japanese main travel road called 53 Stations of Tokaido Road, which still exists in Japan. It's basically where Japanese bullet train travels from Tokyo to Kyoto. So back in Edo period, that line between Tokyo and Kyoto had 53 stations where people would rest as they were traveling across the country. And Kuniyoshi did this ingenious thing of replacing every single station name with words and phrases related to cat. And people tend to go for caricaturist prints. So we have a whole section about caricature and how cats were used in that tradition of Japanese print. There's one print by Hiroshige again, depicting acrobatic scene of 3 cats, and one cat in particular jumping from one pile to the other. It was a very popular entertainment back in 19th century, and he did a clever thing. He replaced acrobats, people, with cats, because we all know that cats are really nimble and they can jump from one thing to another. And he depicted the acrobat as cats and replaced the wooden pile with dried bonito sticks, which is the favorite food of cat. So there is this a lot of play in word and image, and also referring back to what was happening as popular entertainment back in 19th century. Through this exhibition, Life of Cats, what I really want to do is let people understand ukiyo-e prints and this period. I want people to feel familiar and intimate with these images, and it's a very enjoyable, whimsical exhibition. So I'm hoping that a lot of families will come to enjoy this show.